I'm here to quickly talk about Gregory McKelvey. Last week, Thursday, Weiss Middle School, he was invited to speak. And I just want to say a couple things quickly about it. This guy, he played a video about Martin Luther King Martin Luther King Jr., and it was his attempt to lure kids to go on the streets and to break the law. He said that because Martin Luther King got arrested, it's the same thing as them as breaking windows, blocking traffic, and setting cop cars on fire. And so he showed this video about Martin Luther King trying to show himself like, I'm the same thing, so come out, lure the kids out in the streets. He has a strong connection with AntiFa. Okay, these are the guys that cover their faces, they break the law, he uses them as security. There's several pictures over there, and he uses it to intimidate people. It's his own comments, it's his own language on there. There was a news article. He was arrested. Cops were called to his dorm room because he strangled and kidnapped a minor female, okay? And that's very concerning to me. We don't know what happened to that. The records are closed, and he's never approached it. He's never talked about it. They invited Portland Resistance. He is the leader. Michael Rhodes is also leader. He is a registered sex offender, okay? He is facing 4 counts of having sex with a boy, a minor, okay? So one guy's a pedophile, one guy strangles a girl, kidnaps her, and this is what they bring into the school, Portland Resistance, okay? Now, one other thing I want to say, don't forget, they took kids out of a school last year in Portland to protest. They brought them up during school hours. They took them out onto the streets, they blocked traffic, they took over a bridge. They took over a bridge and did not listen to the police. They're trying to lure the kids to come out onto the streets. That's why they're going to the schools. And don't forget, one of them's a pedophile, and the other one kidnapped and strangled a female. Okay, thank you.
I'm Pam Brumfield Udiarte, and I live just a couple blocks away over on 26th Street. I also am really concerned about Greg McKelvey coming and speaking to our middle school students. I have children in middle school. They don't go to Weiss, they go to Cascade, but they're middle schoolers. And had this person come to their classroom, I would be absolutely appalled. For all of the reasons that Joey expressed, the character of the person, the criminal background of this person, but more than that, he went in there with a very clear bias and a very clear message. And to me, that's indoctrination. They're telling, that instructor is telling those students how to think. A responsible, good instructor is going to bring in a counter to that message and say, now here's an opposing message. You decide. You think for yourself. That's what I want my teachers to be teaching my kids, is how to think for themselves, not to think what you think. So I think it would be a very appropriate move to expect another speaker to be brought into this classroom with a counter message, something that's, hey, you know what, it's okay to not want to be out on the streets breaking windows. It's okay to be a Christian. It's okay to be a conservative. It's okay. We all get to have our own opinions, and that's allowed. And that's not a message that Mr. McKelvey is about. So, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Linker. I live right down the street on 141st. I am a parent in this school district. I was raised in this school district. And I've got 4 children. I've got 3 that are already in the school district and 1 upcoming. I've got 2 in high school, but both of them actually went to Weiss not too long ago. I don't want somebody like Gregory McKelvey, who's basically an anarchist and goes out and busts out windows and is trying to, call our children out to, hey, come join me in the streets and let's wreak havoc. I don't want somebody that's been charged and accused of rape and strangling and kidnapping a minor to be talking to my children without my permission. It should be something that should have been brought to the parents to get their okay. There should have been a permission slip, and maybe even a message brought out by the school or the district saying, hey, this is who we're bringing into our classrooms to speak to our children. What does the community think about this? It should be brought and made our choice. They are our children that you guys hire these people to teach. And I agree with Pam that somebody else should be brought in saying, okay, hey, here's an opposing view, and let you make up your own mind. Thank you.
Thank you. John, will you get back to the board on?
Yeah, this was brought to my attention last week by one of the parents, one of the students in the class, and I've been discussing with Bill Ullman as well as the principal at Wise Middle School, and looking at the policies and the procedures and making sure that we, things that may not have been followed as tightly as I would expect are tightened up in the past, and that we are continuing to work through this issue and try to resolve it. So I'll get back to the board on what we end up with.
Okay, any other comments from the citizens?
Once we've looked into all of this, that somebody from the district office appointed by John will be in contact if we have your contact information.
Because
Okay.
it wasn't on the agenda today, we can't offer any kind of response.
Is there a way to get it put on the agenda to where we can come back and talk about it at a later meeting?
I think it can be handled just directly. I mean, it's not the kind of thing that we need to go to public, go to ongoing public meetings. It just needs to be handled. And I feel confident that Dr. Steach will make sure that any deviation off of procedure will be dealt with.
Yeah, we try to make sure that we handle things like this at the lowest possible level. So right now I've got Bill Ullman, who is the Executive Director of Secondary Education, working with Carolyn Garrett, the principal at the school, to resolve this at the school level. I don't think this is a district-wide issue. It's an incident that happened in one classroom in one school right now, and we're dealing with it at that level and trying to make sure that one of the questions that I had is, did we send home permission slips on this? Did we have a balanced presentation? What was the focus of the lesson? How does it fit in with the curriculum? And we've got questions like that we're asking and we're exploring and finding out, and then we'll be working through the principal and the teacher with the students in the classroom to try to resolve this.
That's colonist.
Okay, so next on the citizens' comments is Rob Lutz.